Hello, hello, hello. I don't know when you'll be watching this. It's 10:21 on a Thursday, which is not 2 o'clock on a Thursday. I don't. I hope I've set it so that this goes live at 2 o'clock. Maybe beyond my technical capabilities. But anyway, it's certainly a Thursday. I've got obligations this afternoon, which is why I'm doing it a bit early. But jam-packed show as ever, without the beautiful light of Scotland because I'm in the wrong room. Everything's different. But that's okay because we are going to not be needing light. We can have the light emitting from... do the rest yourself. Right, let's have a look at what's on the list today. Same agenda. We're going to look at various things under these headings. And the first one of those is change, as ever. Different room, different quality of light. The change that we're going to be looking at today is a change to Constance that has shipped in the last week, and it's sortability of columns in reports. So let's have a look at that, shall we? So here's a report in my trusted Feline Press imaginary publisher. And you'll see that on this report that's just sort of hanging out, we've got these new, let's call them icons, could also say arrows, on some of the column headers. So this is the work title. And this icon here suggests that this is a sortable column. So if it's a sortable column, it has this sortability icon. So on this report, we've got pub date is sortable, work title is sortable. If I click on it, then the arrow will change direction and it'll say, okay, we are sorting descending. If I click on it again, then it will change direction and say, okay, we are sorting ascending. Work title is quite a fun one actually because it's got the prefixes involved, so it doesn't quite scan as perhaps as obviously as might be the case for pub date. So now pub date descending, going backwards. Pub date ascending is going upwards. You know how sorting works. So that is a new feature that has shipped that you will have seen. You'll have seen the notification as well. As ever, what we've done is ship what we think is going to be useful, and now we are really keen to solicit feedback, to hear, oh yes, this is great as far as it goes. Wouldn't it be great if I could also sort by subtitle? So we've tried to just do the minimum so that we can now sort of solicit your opinions. So here's some more on the products list display. So product title is sortable, product form code sorts by the code itself. So that's from DBG. And then if we go the other way, this is great. Pub date, ISBN. We've done it so that nulls, like an absence of data, is at the bottom of the list. So when you sort by ISBN, you're going to go 86416 and then nothing. When you sort the other way, you're still going to have like real results at the top, and then all of the nulls are at the bottom as well. It's just normal internet stuff. It doesn't really need explaining, but I obviously did want to point out that it exists now. So on various of these, you'll see these arrows. I think maybe one of the handy dandiest is that it also has been made to work on custom reports. So not just kind of the easy ones like the product title, which is a column type that we control and we know which display it's appearing on and stuff. You've also got product custom reports, which are reports that you define yourself. So, just pick one, Waterstone's grid. So like pub date formatted in the year, month, day. We've also put sortability on quite a few of these, but you'll see not all of them. because, well, to be honest, that would be like 1,000 elements that you can't just sort of programmatically do this magically. When we make a change, logic needs to be applied, tests need to be written, thinking needs to be thought. So we thought, rather than doing a project that required us to change 1,000 things, we would ship something that probably catches most of the use cases that you're interested in. Anyway, definitely let us know if you really need the report sortable by product subtitle. I mean, price on like non-custom reports, price amount is sortable, but this is a custom report, so we haven't done it here. Don't hesitate to say would be just super duper great, because it's not massively challenging. It's just that I didn't want to do 1,000 and have that blocking a useful feature. So yes, so have a marvellous time with that. The sorting persists when you emit this to an Excel spreadsheet, which is really nice as well. What else do I want to say on it? There's sorting on... I'm trying to think of any other interesting ones. I think that's it, really. Oh, there's sorting on to-dos, actually. So on the dates, so the name, the work title, but also on the due date and the done date. So that's a really nice extra thing where you can sort your report by the relevant date as well. And what this actually makes me do, I sort it and then I think, oh, well, now what I need actually is another filter, because yes, I've got all of my July 25 due dates, but now I'm interested in, just the metadata ones or something. So that kind of gives me that sort of following my nose prompt to then add in another filter, or to somehow other amend the report. So it's quite nice. I find that sorting something sort of reveals new patterns and then prompts new inquiries in your mind, doesn't it? It's like, okay, let's go this way. So anyway, sorting is in the building. That has arrived. So very, very good. Have a lovely time. Another thing that we would probably be interested in feedback on, if it becomes I don't know. We had to make a decision about whether you could resort your reports when they're huge, before the report had finished, because when you do a search, this probably isn't a big enough one actually, but did you see, just very, very briefly, everything gets made inert until the point at which at least the first 1,000 results have appeared. So we didn't do that for the sortability. So you can hammer the sortability even though you've got a report loading that's maybe 20,000 lines or something. And I think that's the right decision. But again, I can't imagine that you'd rather have the sortability made inert until the page has loaded all the data. But let us know. As ever, this is a moving feast, isn't it? We iterate. We need your excellent thoughts in order to iterate in the right direction. So enjoy sorting what there is. Look forward to hearing from you about the next steps on that. So that's the change for this week. Very good. What is next? Great. So what we were looking at there is sorting lists. And when we released that feature, as I say, we did a notification, and a treasured client got in touch and said, oh, it would be just so wonderful if we could sort the order of our advanced information sheets by marketing tier. And she said something like, that would save me a lot of hours. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Didn't even think that marketing tier would of course be a really great reason to want to sort the AIs, because you're sending them off to the to the sales agents, and they need to appear in the right order in the book. So let's have a look at that. Now, this hasn't actually shipped yet. This is still a peer review stage. Actually, peer review? God, I've had a complete mind blank, and I can't remember in the programming world what PR means. Pull request. God, clearly February has got to me already. Can't remember basic nouns. Right, so let's go to the PDF emission bit, because this isn't the sort of page where you land on and you've got column headings, right? You've got your 12 products found, but you've got these further options now. So we know that 12 products have been found, and we're being invited to choose the template for it. So let's go for, actually, I'd go for the one where I know I put marketing tier in. And in fact, I think I did this on another one. No. So we will get rid of these. We will add in a filter where we know that there's going to be marketing tiers, because I want to be able to see that. So my marketing tiers in this imaginary edifice of Feline Press happen to be alphabetical, which is quite handy for the purposes of sorting. So if your marketing tiers don't really lend themselves to being sorted alphabetically, then let us know, because that might be another piece of development that we need to do to sort of have an implicit sort order of the tiers. So I've got 5,000 products that have arrived from that. So I'm going to add in a restriction there. And if I do on or after, will that bring back a good number of results? Might be too many. It's too many. Let's do on or before. I just want a few so I can just show you through. Absolutely perfect. So 38 products, and we will is there, I set it up on the Snowbooks account and it's not here. Okay, you'll just have to trust me, I think, when I say that these are sorting in this order. The point is that there's a new option on this sort list. So this is sort by, and we've got marketing tier, and I put on then pub date descending. So you'll get all of your A stars in the first chunk, and then it'll be in, descending order of pub date. And that adds to the existing sorts there, which is pub date, then ISBN 13, in-house subject, because I thought, well, for catalogues, you want your business and then your self-help and then your something else all grouped together. So subject, then pub date, subject, then contributor, then pub date, which is a nice nuance there. And so now we've got marketing tier, then pub date. So that is going, I'll press generate, I suppose, but we don't actually have marketing tier, I think, as a report element in this flyer, so I won't bother showing you. But that is a really nice additional feature, and wouldn't have come about if our treasured client had not let us know that this would be a real time saver. So I just wanted to sort of, we've shipped sortability on the display lists. Let us know what you'd like further there. And then we've got sortability on these AIs. I mean, coming soon. Like I say, this is still on the table. But it's not a massive big deal for us to add new flavours of sorting into this. So I'm definitely soliciting new insights from you and how you use your tool here. And I'm saying, particularly for something like this, it's not a big deal to add in new sort orders. So really look forward to hearing any interesting, imaginative ways that we can extend that for you and make life a little bit better. I mean, I really do think if there are any tasks left in your working month that take hours or some large fraction of an hour, just do reach out. I mean, we've got some really good ones on the list for track copies, We've got some really good ones for roles that people have asked us for, and it's just so great to, for us to build out the core features, but then make them absolutely sing based on your absolutely gold dust feedback. So thank you very much to the client, you know who you are, for that great idea, which was I think it was yesterday. And so the PR is in already. That's the sort of timescales we're talking about. It can, some of these requests can be delivered really efficiently. I mean, some are massive and take weeks, and it's not as easy as that. But some are. So just reach out, and then we can see how quickly we can do it. Lovely. Another feedback request. And I'm not even going to go to the app at this point because this is vaporware. We are in the world of the imaginary. And that is all completely irritating for you because you want to be able to do it right now. But we're shipping a feature in the fullness of time, and it's going to look a bit like this. And this is our work so far on it. And so this is a little bit out of order, isn't it? Because you don't even get a chance to click around and have a think about it. But I think it's a powerful enough thing that I'll let you know about it now. And let's face it, only the premium creme de la creme, most attentive clients listen to this monologue every week. So this is our safe group. Let me know any extra things that you would like as a power user to be included on this feature. So what it is, and this is a screenshot, and I'm sorry it's so tiny. What it is like a list of sample reports. So these are one-click, quick start. It's like a library of samples that's going to let you hit this button. This is a link here, and it will set you up a report that will have all of the conditions, all of the filters at the top of the page that will get you this answer. So this one, this is PowerPoint, so I can't click on it, but if I was to click on this, it would set me up a report where the dates are going to be showing next year's list, and the products are not yet set to be sent in Onyx. And then, this is, possibly work in progress, but it says when you use this example, you will need to choose the recipients you want to look at. So you can also layer on there, I want to see next year's list where the products are not set in Onyx, and it's for the recipient Nielsen or something like that, not yet sent in Onyx. So I've misspoken there, not yet sent in Onyx, not as opposed to not yet set to be going out in Onyx. There's another one, this one down, next year's products not yet live in Onyx. That's what I should have said then. So these are super powerful reports, give you massive insight into the state of your list, allow you to drill down and sort things out and everything. Here's a nice one, next month's marketing materials. So there's default set in, the date range is set in, and it's a relative date. So whenever you click on this, it's always going to be the next month from wherever you are now, as opposed to, it's always going to be set to the 13th of July 2021, and have to keep amending it. We've got last year's products contributors. So show me a list of all of the contributors to works where a product was published last year. I mean, it might be your sort of keep warm list, that you're sending out your questionnaire to recently published authors and illustrators to say, how did we do or something. All sorts of reasons for needing something like that. Here's a great one, last year's rights deals. So a nice big list there, straight from your one version of the truth. Here's a nice one as well, translations. This is like a quality control type of report. So this is, give me a list of works that have got a contributor whose work contribution role is some sort of translation role. So like translated by or translated with a forward by, that sort of thing. So that's really nice to be able to, first of all, figure out which of your which of your works are in translation, because you might want to enter a prize or something. But it also allows you to add them to particular, catalogue entries, or, all sorts of reasons. And then the last one on this list, I think it's the last one. It's not just where the screenshot finishes. This is paperbacks with associated hardbacks. Now, this is one of those searches that's a search within a search, which, I find quite, mentally stimulating to set up. So I really want to make sure that we've got ways for you to be able to do a one-click button option. And so you can set up all of the dependent searches in one go. And what this does is set up one search that just simply finds all of the hardbacks, and then another search that says, show me all of the products that are not in that other search that also have some other condition. So that's really quite nice. It's simple once it's there, but when you sort of sit down to try and think it through, I think it's going to be really nice to have options like this. So, as I say, we're looking at PowerPoint at the moment, not reality. It's coming really soon, but as soon as we launch it, it would be really nice if you have the opportunity to, get using it on the things you want straight away. So, if you have any ideas for like pre-packaged searches that you would like to be able to click on and have it made real in your account straight away, definitely get in touch. We would be delighted to add to that list. And anytime you give us these insights as well, it gives us just that extra layer of understanding as to how you're using the system. And so it has all sorts of benefits to be able to think, oh right, yeah, well, you're using, let's say, a third party for rights deals. You need to be able to emit a regular report. It's really nice to be able to, not have to replicate effort. So, we can guess to a certain extent, but anything you tell us comes in really handy for us understanding what your challenges are and how we can help. So that's exciting, coming soon, but no date on it. It's ready when it's ready, as ever. But let us know. And that's to the usual address, support@consonance.app. Right, what's next on the list? Right, so a bit of depth here. I want to just talk, possibly in the abstract, about the difference between these two things. The difference between an advance versus a payment. And so we're in royalties land here, aren't we? We're in royalties, contracts, thinking about those mechanisms. I think I've popped this on the list because it came up with someone's question this week, and I was not quite sure whether it's super clear what these sort of foundational shapes are. And it's like it's not actually anything to do with computers or systems or data. It's actually conceptual stuff. So I've popped this in the depth department so that we can have a look at what I'm talking about. So let's go over to contracts on the Imaginary Feline Press. And let's go to Winter Cats, which I think is fairly empty, devoid of information. Great. Again, bear in mind, this is all completely imaginary, so any data you see is made up and placeholder, and we don't need to worry about doing a GDPR failure. Great. So here we are, and we've got all of these different options, and we're going to go down to the remittances bit. Because on this contract page, we can set up a lot of different data that describes the nature of the agreement between us, the publisher, and the rights licensor, going upstream. So the author, the agent, the entity from whom you are licensing rights. It's not the same as selling rights. That's rights deals, and that's when you are effectively the IP holder and you're licensing rights downstream. So no, we're pointing our faces up towards the author or agent or other rights holder. So we've got things like the agreement name, the delivery dates, any benefits, the license rights that we are licensing from them so that we can exercise them later, because we have to secure that, of course. And then any royalty rates, sales rights, and then here we are at the remittances bit. Remittances, and there are 3 different regions underneath remittances. I think, OBS notifications. I hope that's okay. I think what we're looking at there is the idea of a payment, and then an actual payment. An advance is a promise. It's a promise to pay a certain amount of money when a certain condition becomes true. So it might be on the 1st of January next year, I am promising to pay you £500. And then on the date of publication, I am going to pay you another £500 or something like that. But just because you put a promise into consonance, it doesn't mean that any money has actually left one bank account and gone to another. That's what a payment is. And I think really what the important thing to feel here is that consonance isn't like, it's not meant to be a workaround for reality. What you should aspire to do within consonance is directly reflect the real situation of what's actually happening. And so when we put in an advance, what we're doing there is putting in this promise, and it's going to be emitted onto the PDF documentation that you'll send off for signature. That's the promise. But the payment should only be entered into the contract area here when your bank account has sent money to the rights holder's bank account. And the moment you start sort of thinking, oh, well, in consonance, if we say that there's an advance, then what we really mean in reality is some other thing. It's like, I can't think of an example, but like a publishing fee rebate or something. So we'll make the advance negative and then that'll balance out. Don't do that. Try and, just for like getting through the day reasons, try to make it so that whatever you see in consonance is true, and you don't have to have this sort of mental burden of thinking, oh yeah, well it says advance, but what it really means is publishing fee. It says payment, but what it really means is opening balance. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. So I thought it was just a good bit of fodder for having a talk on the live stream to say the advances are a promise, no money changes hands, but the conditions are set up for making good on that promise. And then the payments are, yes, we have actually made that advance payment or royalty payment, and here's our record of it. So that is the difference between advances and payments. And I won't go into, I'm not actually going to click on any buttons because there's all sorts of interesting complexity around it. From the payee's point of view, you can have multiple payees with different payment splits. You can have multiple advances for, different triggers. You can have payments that are at the product or the work level, and various amounts of fidelity of information can be captured there. None of this has to be done manually. In fact, it very rarely is it? This all data appears here when you import information from a spreadsheet, or when you click a button to say, yes, I've made all of these payments. So that's the conceptual stuff behind advances and payments. And I hope you enjoyed my talk about that. As with any of this stuff, it's relevant when it's relevant, isn't it? And not when it's not. One day it'll be relevant for you, I'm sure. So this is why I had my Feline Press account open to some weird report earlier. And now I had to remove it because I did this in the wrong order. But that's all right, because we can rectify it again. This is a very small speed thing, and this is, I have definitely mentioned this on the live stream before, but it's just a quick thing to remind. Let's go to a report and let's have a look at doing a report that's got a date range. And so I come here and I think, yeah, I want to look at just some, so a date range, and then I'm going to look at my products list, and for reasons, you're allowed to have reasons. And I'm going to do quick picks. So let's go through the whole lot. I could say one specific date. I could say, use my date picker to say everything on or after tomorrow, and that would be fine. Or I could use my relative date and I could say 30 days from now, rounded to the exact date or rounded to the beginning of the month, all sorts of interesting things there. Or I could say, just, let me use a quick pick, which again is relative, but it's just going to allow me to pick from this list. So let's go for next year. Lovely, on or after next year. And then I think, well, I want it on or after next year, but I don't want it going on to 2050, if I've put in some products with that publication date. So then I would go on or before, and then I would say, okay, let's do 3 years from now, rounded to the exact date, and that's the 5th of February 2029. And so press search, and that brings us back. Oh, I've got something in the way of it. That brings us back nothing. Fine. Let's do that to last year, and then maybe I'll get something interesting. Looking for the number there. Great. And that's a lot of typing and stuff that's had to go in there. And so what I want to do is a different sort of search. Let's go to reporting here, actually. Let's go to do that same thing again, but this time I'm going to use the different option on this drop down in the middle, which is on. And on means that you enter data in a kind of, you enter one piece of data rather than lots, and you get the same end result. So if I say on last year, when I press search, that is going to get me a date range. Do you see? 1st of Jan 2025 to the 31st of December 2025. So that is the power of using this on, that you can say, give me the publication date on last year. And I can do it for last month, and it's the same sort of thing. You get this preview here, January to January. Or I can go next year, and that's January to December. So on is definitely a time saver. And I would say it's probably more like immediately parsable by the busy, frazzled human brain, isn't it? So I think that deserves a little mention under the speed banner. My whole thing's just exploded. That's exciting. Yes, so great. That is lovely. So that, on the note of speed, that was quite a swift little, live stream there. I think sometimes when I start not on the hour, I lose all sense of time. And then before you know it, I've rattled through everything. So I'm sure that's a benefit and a blessing for all. Short, sharp, speedy improvements. So yeah, really the topic of conversation this week has been, let us know any extensions to features that you're seeing in the system. Just can't stress enough that any ideas you come up with are like gold dust to us, really useful, really gratefully received. And we'll do our best to, certainly ship the easy ones, fantastic, win-win-win, and then give serious consideration to any that are a little bit longer. But, you always, speaking to the crowd, you always come up with good ideas. There's never any it's always comes from this sort of deep immersion in the role of getting books out in a timely fashion. So sorry to lean on you so heavily, but we really do value it, and look forward to getting your good ideas every day. Right, well, I wonder if this is streamed already or whether I have to set it up. Oh, very exciting. We will see. Think we're back to actually the normal schedule next week. The London Book Fair fast approaches, my word. So if you do want to catch up with me and Dave, then drop us a line somehow. I've got a calendar link, which I'm not going to put on YouTube for obvious reasons. You can... we can get a mutually exciting time to catch up. Fab. Right. Well, have a lovely rest of your week. Very nice weekend. The 10-day weather forecast here is rain permanently. So I don't expect to go up many mountains anytime soon, but I'll do my best to have a nice weekend. So I hope you do too.